Welcome to the Business Spotlight. I'm joined with our guest, Allan Purnell. He is the owner of the HOOPr. Allan, thank you for taking the time to be on the show. My name is Edgar Rodriguez, and I am the host of the Business Spotlight for Action Coach here in our Las Vegas Valley, where we do business coaching with a lot of our clients and help the business owners in the local community elevate and take their business to the next level. Allan, I'm excited to learn more about you, your business. So without further ado, can you tell us a little bit about yourself and your business?
Yeah, thanks for having me, by the way. I appreciate that, and always good to promote the business and meet new people and whatnot. Really appreciate what you guys are doing. About me, born in Southern California, played basketball my entire life. Played Division I, played a little bit semi-pro, played on 2 tours in China and whatnot. I even coached a little bit, became a player development coach, coached high school, kind of did it all. Started my own sports training program called Baller for Life out in Huntington Beach, California. That's been going on for a little over 10 years now. Then personal side, got married, moved to Vegas. Now I'm out here in Vegas. Still like to be very active in the basketball community when I can be. I haven't got to the point where I'm starting a program or training yet, and that's why we developed HOOPr. It's kind of a way for me to stay involved with the basketball community, kind of at a glance though, and just stay involved and make sure I can contribute and give back to the community that helped raise me.
Nice. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Community and sports are ways that, number one, for me personally, it kept me out of trouble growing up.
Yeah, right.
And
Yeah.
it gave me that discipline, like I enlisted into the Marine Corps, and if it
Oh,
wasn't for the things I learned, in sports to teach me and prepare me to be ready for the Marine Corps, who knows where I would have ended up. But I'm very glad.
absolutely.
Yeah. So, thank you for what you do for the community. And I myself came from California, so
Oh,
I understand.
yeah. Orange County, Southern Cali boy, my whole life. So
Yeah.
yeah.
So I'm excited. Number one, Allan, what do you feel is most misunderstood about your industry with what you do?
I think with the coaching part and social media, I think people are tend to thinking there's too many social media apps and things like that now. Whereas with this industry, people have just started to find niches now, which is what HOOPr is. We're basically a social media basketball training app, and our niche is basketball training. It's not like your Instagrams or Facebook, which are more encompassing of everything. We have our lane, so to speak. And that's what I think people have a misconception about social media, for one. And then for two, for training, I would say a lot of basketball trainers and coaches do get help. A lot of sometimes you'll get players and your clients when you're training. They think your basketball coach knows everything and that whatever he says goes and whatnot, and he's not learning it from somebody else. When truth be told, they are going to coaching clinics, are doing tons of research. And that's kind of where we come into with our app, and just providing that resource and access to other information and drills and workouts and whatnot. So as a coach, I think a lot of people or kids sometimes don't see that part of the knowledge gaining or the experience that coaches are doing on the back end to be able to develop players and things like that. So I think that's a misconception, is thinking that coaches just kind of know everything and we have everything without going to do our research and homework before we pass on this knowledge on down to kids.
Yeah, I think that's very spot on. Even in business coaching, right? We're
Yep.
always learning and we're always educating ourselves to stay ahead of what is going on, right? Like in
Yep.
sports, you have all the analytics that people start paying attention
Yeah.
to.
Right, right, right.
So very similar to like in business, are we keeping track of the scoreboard? Are we
Hmm.
measuring how we're being successful in business?
Exactly. And with basketball, the game has evolved so much, so you kind of have to. Like, the game has changed from when I played. I can't coach doing the same things that I did when I played because the
Mhm.
game has changed so much. So I think as we grow and change and evolve, and players' bodies are different, they're taller, they're getting better, younger, just having that access and saying, okay, if you want to get to this next level, here are the tools to do so.
Right, right. Yeah, I remember, when I was growing up, back in the day, was being tough and being driven to the paint, right, in
Yeah.
basketball.
Oh yeah. Opposite now. You don't want to get touched, then you want to shoot it from as far away as possible.
Yeah,
So
and so the game's evolved a lot. So trust me, I get it. Now. So the business spotlight, Allan, we like it to be educational and inspire people who are thinking about getting into entrepreneurship. So with that being said, what's been the biggest learning curve for you since you started your business in the industry?
I would think the biggest learning curve is having to do your homework. I think because, being involved in basketball for my entire life, I think that sometimes you may miss certain things when it comes to how the game has evolved and whatnot, kind of thinking that, oh, I've done this for 30 years. I can, go ahead and start an app. I can go ahead and do my own training program when it's like you still have a lot of homework to do because things are changing at such a fast pace. With HOOPr, we were able to kind of fast track things once the pandemic hit because people
Mm.
weren't training and going to trainers and coaching and having practice, which is part of the reason we developed the app was to say, hey, if we're going to share this knowledge, but we can't be around people in person, how do we go about doing that? And there really
Right.
wasn't like an avenue for just basketball training. Yes, you can go to your Instagrams and Facebooks and your other social media platforms, but to have something specifically dedicated to basketball, our training community, that's something that helps a lot. So I think that helps. And then just as far as misconceptions go, just making sure that you are aware of everything that's going around in the industry. That's another thing that's been learning curve because it's basketball, but it's also the SaaS and tech industry that you also have to know of, be very knowledgeable of, and be able to kind of move with things as they move because it does change so fast as far as what are people watching, how long are they watching it. We kind of talked before about how 15 minutes is our attention span. So how do we go about getting our message about and changing it as people's attention spans are changing, and to making sure they still understand how important it is as far as education, things that we're delivering as well.
Yeah, 100%, right? Like you
Yeah.
got to know your audience. You got to know how
Yeah,
to
totally.
capture them, right? And you got to know what your message is. And that's
Yep.
important in any business, in knowing who are we attracting, knowing your niche, just like you said, right? For you guys, it's basketball. You know exactly what it is you guys are trying to accomplish and how to make them better players at the end of the day.
Yeah, totally.
How to evolve, right?
Hmm.
Alan, who's been the most influential person in your life and how have they impacted you?
Great question. Probably starts with my parents. My parents worked really hard. My dad was my first basketball coach. And
Mm.
one thing I'm thankful for is a lot of times you see parent coaches kind of baby their children once they're playing for them. My dad didn't do that at all. He was, treated me like the rest of the guys. Sometimes I thought he was a little harder on me than the other guys. But as I got older, I see why he did it, and he, not showing favoritism and things like that. So I definitely get a lot of my training and techniques, and as far as the mental part of the game and being mentally tough from that. Um, then I would say inspiration is probably just from my circle of friends, definitely all very highly motivated entrepreneurs, people who aren't afraid to get outside their comfort zone and try something new. I think that's huge to have for people, to just being able to push that boundary. So I'm attracted to that because I like to grow as a person individually. You can apply that to business and things like that. So I'll probably say just my tight circle of friends, my parents for sure. With basketball, I've played my whole life. I never really had a favorite player, I guess, or a team, even though I, grew up in Southern California, Laker, Clipper town. I never really had a favorite team. I just enjoyed the game so much that, whoever was on and exciting, I watched play, we grew up in the 90s. That's Jordan era. I've been a huge LeBron fan ever since he entered the NBA, but I try to pull inspiration from everybody, but the main people be my parents probably, and then my tight circle of friends.
Yeah, and I think that's a very great point right there, right? Is having that inner circle of friends that are already doing it, right? And
Yeah,
you see what they're doing, they're mentors at this point. And now, how do I strive to be what they've already accomplished? And what do I want to do? And it's picking ideas and picking their brains to unlock that
yeah,
knowledge that they withhold, right? Uh,
yep. And it's just that support, knowing that you're not alone, I think is huge, that they're
mm,
going through it as well. And, just bouncing ideas and somebody saying, hey, you know what? That's not a crazy idea. Go with it. You know what I mean? And just having that support and that motivation that you can do something that you may not be accustomed to.
yeah, yeah. To your point, you said it doesn't have to be alone, right? It doesn't have to
Yeah, right.
be a journey. And that's what we instill and teach a lot of our clients, right? That entrepreneurship can be a lonely road if you make that choice, right?
Yeah, right. Exactly.
So knowing that you have somebody there to support you, and that's what we're here for, is to help them get to that next level.
Mhm.
Which leads to my next question, Alan. What advice would you give 20-year-old Alan who was just getting into
Oh, this is an amazing question. I would say my advice would be to listen to all advice, but don't take everyone's advice. I think that's huge. Sometimes when you have mentors and whatnot, a lot of people have things to offer, especially when I was in my 20s. I was really into basketball and trying to get to that next level, and everybody had the perfect idea of what I should do to get to the next level. And,
Mhm.
me not knowing, I just listened to anybody who had something to say. I think that's important to listen to advice, but also be like, you know what, that doesn't suit my path or my goals. So I would say, listen to that. I would also say help. Don't be afraid to ask for help.
Mhm.
When I was first training, I didn't have a trainer growing up. I just kind of did it all on my own. And then I went to a basketball camp, basketball tryout, and one of the coaches was like, hey, seek help. You're never too good to not ask for help. They're like, look at all the best NBA players, all have shooting coaches, strength coaches. They all have coaches or somebody else they can look to. So don't go out there thinking you know it all, because you don't. So it's okay to ask for help. And I think nowadays in our society, we just kind of look down upon it like, oh, he needed help doing that. He didn't do it on his own. That's okay. When you're trying to get to a certain level in your life, it's okay to ask for help. So that's probably what I would tell myself, because like I said, I didn't do that for the longest, is
Mm.
seeking help. I just thought I kind of knew and experimented. Um, and you go through a lot of trial and error that I probably didn't have to go through had I just asked somebody for help.
Mm. I think that right there is really, really, really valuable. I think a lot of viewers will find that as gold, right?
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah, yeah. I don't know what it is about that. People are so afraid to ask for help, or just say, even in school that kind of happens. But I think for me personally, that was something that I think I could have done a little younger. And now, like, when it comes to marketing and things in my business, I'm sure I have no problem saying I don't know much about this. Can you help out with it?
yeah, yeah, that's a really, really good advice. Now, Alan, what is one thing that your business or business venture did that you did not expect?
I think for us, it would. I think I was shocked when we developed our app that it hadn't been done before. So it's, a lot of times, with so many apps and things out now, you kind of think there's already an app for everything. Um, so I think just even having that and bringing that to fruition was something that kind of caught us by surprise. Like, hey, how has this not been done before? It seems like it's so obvious, right? Like, hey, we have all these different social media apps. I know tons of basketball trainers. Well, how are they giving all these players information? How are they sharing it? How are they sharing videos? How are they communicating with each other?
Mm.
How are they recruiting other clients? Are they not? They're not using social media. Like, why? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And simple answer was there was none. You know what I mean? So I think for us that caught us by surprise, and as we start seeing the reaction, like for something that we thought was so ordinary and simple, seeing people really gravitate towards it and use it, and just seeing how they're going to use the app, because our platform is basically, here's your platform, it's basketball, drills you can share, but you can actually do whatever you want with it. If you have a basketball clothing line you want to promote, go ahead, do a drill or a workout, post your or with your apparel on there, promote it that way. Like, so there's other ways people are using the app that I didn't quite see it. There's a lot of people who are content creators, video editors, things like that, who are on our app just to network with other people who create videos and content for that specific instance. So I didn't expect that to happen. So I think that caught us a little bit by surprise, thinking that we were only going to get one type of audience, whereas we got a lot of people in the content creation crowd that are in it as well.
And that's fantastic. Yeah, that's amazing. You start with something that you're trying to make a small little impact, and then it leads to something even greater, where now you're building that community, and it's helping them build that brand.
Yeah, yeah. A prime example was, if you're familiar with Instagram,
Mhm.
like that started off as Bourbon. It was an app called Bourbon, which was strictly for posting pictures of, people drinking their favorite bourbon at bars. Once after doing some research, after they launched the app, they realized, hey, people just want to post pictures of what they're doing. That transformed into Instagram and billion-dollar company. So hopefully that happens with us.
Yeah, let's wish you the best of luck there, because
Yeah.
let it have more
Yeah,
success.
totally.
If you could start another business tomorrow, Alan, what would that be?
I think it would be more of a mentorship type of business. Just probably still sports related, but more on the mentorship side.
Yep.
A lot of times with basketball players, we've done it for so long that after we're done playing, it's hard to step into corporate life. And there really isn't, we aren't trained enough because we thought we were all going to go to the NBA and make millions of dollars, right? But that rarely happens. So I think it would be just a mentorship type of program to show people how you can use your basketball skills and what you've learned and apply that to the business world. Doesn't even have to be coaching or anything like that, but the skills you've learned playing as far as your discipline, your confidence, teamwork, all those different things you can use in the corporate world. And I think I'd like to reach out to to our community more, just to let them know, hey, there's other options. You don't just have to be a coach just because you're done playing and you think that's all you know of the game. You've learned so many things subconsciously as a basketball player or sport, any sport that you decide to play, but you learn so much, and just to apply those tools to the business world and just to show people how to do that, I think will probably be the next business I would probably do.
Yeah. And I think, with sports, right, it gives you that discipline in
Yeah,
how to think things through, right? Because just like in basketball, right, the real great players see things happening before they happen.
absolutely. Absolutely.
So it's knowing how do you apply that, like really slow down to see and think things through before we act.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
looking at outcomes, right? Just like in business, hey, if I do this, what are the repercussions and what does that lead to?
Uh-huh. Yes, it's like a constant evaluation,
Mhm.
and I think that's so important. And we learn these skills like not even knowing we have it, like
Mhm.
for me, I like I'm very an introvert, shy type of person, but once I got to college, we had to go speak to high school kids and all kinds of camps and whatnot. Me being shy, like I wasn't, used to that. Turns out I did it so much, I gained confidence in it, and I'd speak at camps and all different kinds of engagements now, and I don't even think about it,
Right.
because I got so used to it through playing sports, and now it becomes second nature. So,
Yeah, yeah. Now, as we're getting out of COVID, along this journey of entrepreneurship, Alan, what have you personally learned about yourself?
I think I've learned the most is patience, and that I didn't have before that I know I'm patient about. I learned to tap into that because obviously when COVID hit, everything slowed down, right?
Mhm.
So we just had to sort of wait and take a step back. I'm the type of person that if I have an idea, I want to go, 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 go. And I think especially when you start in your own business, things don't just happen overnight. It takes time. Like I started, this idea started 4 years ago. Development took about a year, and we just launched the app in November. So it was a long process. Although it seems like to some, when they see the app, it seems like it could have happened fairly quickly. But it was a long process as far as getting the ideas in there, making sure things are right, things function the same. So I think learning patience was something I definitely had to tap into. I did a lot of reading um, during that time as well. I didn't want to just sit on the couch and watch TVs and movies. I wanted to try to better myself in some kind of way. So I took up different hobbies and tasks. I took up Taekwondo randomly just because I wanted to do something different. I'm home, want to do something different. So I found that out about myself as well, the fact that I'm willing to try something and fail at it. But I think trying things is really important. Like I said before, just getting out of your comfort zone is super important in life.
Yeah, it's definitely getting uncomfortable to get comfortable, right?
Yeah, yep.
You touched on it earlier, right? Like when you talked about speaking and having to speak as an introvert, how do you flip that and how do you become better?
Mm-hmm.
And it just takes practice and repetition, right?
Yeah,
And on
exactly.
that path of learning, right? And when it comes to being a business owner or an entrepreneur, right? You can't just get a certification that says, "Hey, now you're a certified business owner," right?
Right, right.
And there's so
Exactly.
many different levels in business that we have to learn. Right? Whether it's, hey, how do I get the right messaging out? How do I
Mm-hmm.
get my marketing? How do I hire the right employee? And that's where us as
Mm-hmm.
business coaches, we get to help and guide business owners to eliminate that day-to-day chaos.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
We get them
Yeah.
on the right, we get to get them on the right track. And it's why and this is to get them to start building that better business that they're looking to get to.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So,
Absolutely.
as we're wrapping up the business spotlight, Allan, what's the best way for people to connect with you, get a hold of you, and are there any offers you're currently offering them?
Yeah, the best way to get a hold of me is you can get a hold of me through Instagram. Our Instagram is HOOPr, HOOPR_basketball app, or our website, www.thehooper, and that's HOOPR.com. And always get a hold of me there. We actually have a basketball tournament that we're putting on in March that we're really looking forward to kind of promote our brand and the app and whatnot. So we have a basketball tournament coming up. But those are the best ways to reach me, just on social media or LinkedIn. You can reach me on LinkedIn as well. I'm on there. So yeah, reach out. Love to talk and network with people, of course. And if I can help, always up for that as well.
Well, Allan, as we are wrapping up today, thank you for sharing all that. There was really, really good information, a lot of really good nuggets. Now, my final question is, and I like this question because it opens the door for you to be able to share what you want to share, right? And
Yeah.
What's one question I did not ask that you want to share with the viewers?
What's the HOOPr app? So I would say that, and just to kind of let people know about HOOPr app, it's our basketball training social media app, and what we do is we connect people through sharing drills and workouts, and it's actually fitness professionals as well. So we just provide a platform where people can get on there, post what they do, see how they take their game to the next level, to see how they train. For athletes, it's a great tool to use to learn new things. If you're a person like me who trained on his own for a large majority of your career or while you're working out, it just gives you access to a lot of drills and workouts you wouldn't have necessarily seen before. As a trainer, it's a great way to network with other trainers, to learn new drills, to meet new clients, and just promote your brand. It's really important for trainers. Me as a trainer for years, the hardest thing was letting people know what I do, as far as, okay, if you want to see what my training's like, typically I would say, come have a free session. Now there's a platform where I can say, hey, and HOOPr, you can follow me on HOOPr and see all the drills, how I train people, how I work out. If it's something that fits you, then it's something we can move forward with as far as you being a client and training. And then lastly, for coaches, basketball coaches at any level, this could be youth, high school, college. There's a lot of youth coaches out there who are dad coaches who may not have the experience of basketball, but their kids play and they want to coach their kids. So it's a great way to network and with other coaches and see what they're doing, whether it be beginners or more advanced people such as high school. So it's a really cool app and tool to use to further your skills and experience with basketball.
Yeah, that's amazing. And congratulations on creating that network and that ability to be able to connect people beyond what they ever thought they ever could.
Yeah, totally.
So, Allan, thank you again for being on this.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Spotlight, and I'm looking forward to connecting with you. And until next time.
All right. Thanks a lot. I appreciate you.